Yeah, that's like how I do it, I do it a little bit more than Albert did it, but Albert used to call her a pig. He used to constantly call her a pig because why is there a picture of a summer lookalike there? No, 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 no. Me and Jessica were much tighter than that. Jessica was a friend. She was a good friend. Jessica would give me clothes. She'd come over. She'd bring food. She dated all my friends. Um, she had so much. I think moxie's the word for it. She had so much style, and the definition of a roundaway girl. They should have wrote her into Shameless. When I look at like Mandy Malkovich, I also think of like Jessica. Jessica was like that too. What the fuck does Summer have to do with Jessica? Albert doesn't know Jessica or Summer, and he doesn't like redheads. He's got a thing against them. Although Jessica had reddish hair. He's just repeating old blowjob stories about Jessica and wants to compare it to Summer. I don't think you know what you're talking about. Yo, dude, Albert's got big Magnum dick, and we both like to cover our face and cover titties and cover ass and inseminate things that are our own. Fucking Albert called her a pig because that it was a term of endearment. I think it was. He was angry with her too. Why am I telling you this? This ain't your business. God, you're fucking annoying. Stop crossbreeding chicks and opening your mouth. No, me and Albert were blood brothers. I used to trust him. He goes back to the times of Sue. There ain't no Summer in there. Albert's Albert's no, it's not scummy like you. Blood brothers, like a brother. Albert broke up with Melissa. Albert was about 35 years old and had a 14-year-old girlfriend. Had just gotten out of Fishkill prison and come from a military mafioso background. And he was left to his own device. Got off the Amtrak station in Schenectady. He used to call it San Fran Schenectady, and and he used to call all the people in it Schenectazoids. He was from out west. He's from western New York, Syracuse, places like that. And I actually hooked them up together because Albert was in shambles after his little girlfriend left, and so was I because I was used to her. We would double date. We'd come over to each other's houses for dinner. Real civilized shit. Albert also spent time at the Maybe farm, or I forget his function there, but he lived there. He used to take us over to the Maybe farm. Albert would play piano all night and show us what good wine was. Although he didn't drink, he would provide and ply us all with wine. And we'd sit there and we talked about music. He loved music. And he thought I was the shit. But I got them together. You want your girlfriend to be. That's what I call my girl in the bedroom. You're my little cum pig, right? It's a term of endearment. They didn't end well, but he would tell me how great she was. She was great, and he had a penchant for video cameras too, which I didn't know. But he would rent them and film sex with Jessica. I mean, what else would you do? He'd film it outside. Yep. I'm calling Albert sometime this probably next month, and I'm taking a trip out to Syracuse, or I'm having him come down. And he's one of my best friends in the world, and life ain't the same without him. No, we're big boys. We're grown ups. It's okay if he fucks one of the girls I used to date. We had a brotherly talk about it. Not your business. Although Jessica had red hair, but it wasn't daywalk red. It was an auburn kind of red, and then she would dye it a fake red, different kind of red hair. She was a sweetheart. I started getting annoyed towards the end too because she wasn't as social as Melissa used to be, and it was getting harder and harder to. Yeah, that's the kind of pussy that will drive you mad. Her second boyfriend, who's the father of her middle kid, had he was a steel worker, and he climbed to the top of the old on J Street. He climbed through Albert's roof, through the heating duct, cut through it with a fucking blowtorch, and climbed down into Albert's closet. And one day, him and Jessica were there watching TV, and Albert is a neat freak, total neat freak. He's the type that knows how he left the window shade, which way the faucet was facing, if the what cupboards were closed. He looked over at the closet door and he noticed that it was ajar. And he said to her, "Did you open that?" She said no. He got up, opened the door, and her ex-boyfriend jumps out with a baseball bat. Albert blasted him in the face, grabbed the baseball bat, and put him in Albany Med right there in the apartment. I look out my window, and the whole street is closing down. They're throwing up yellow tape and yellow barricades with the SPD logos. And I'm like, holy shit, it's business hours. What's going on? Did somebody get shot? I look out the window. Albert's outside with about 10 cops screaming. I run down there in my socks, and I'm listening to Albert tell the cops how he just beat this guy into unconsciousness. They took him out in a fucking stretcher, and then Albert comes over to me. He said, "You're never gonna guess what just happened up there, man. I almost had a heart attack. I think I killed someone." I'm like, "Oh, what?" Oh my god! And Jessica was there. She was crying. Yeah, that's the kind of pussy that'll make you go mad. And that's what he did. I don't know what Summer's got to do with it. Summer was with Dustin, and Summer was dealing with young Maya. Yo, dude, your summer fascination needs to end pretty soon, all right? I was with Renee at the time, but I remember Albert from. Albert was the type of guy that when punk rock bands would come through to QE2, remember one time, I'm standing out there on Central Avenue, and we played 2 blocks over at Bogey's that night, and I don't know what the fuck I was doing on foot. Maybe it was somebody else's car, but I went down to QE2 to see what was up, and Albert's in his Bart Simpson K car, and he's like, "Jump in, man. We're going for a ride." I'm like, "I can't. I just played down the street. We're packing up." He's like, "I want you to meet Mickey. He's from the business." I'm like, and I look in there, and there's this British guy from the business in Albert's car, and they're driving around together, partying. The business just played QE2, do a runner, drinking and driving. He was that kind of guy. He had previous drug problems, so he didn't party, but he didn't mind if you did. Tired of you. Every time I talk about a blowjob video, he's like, Summer? What makes Summer the blowjob queen? It was just a blowjob like anybody else. And I said yesterday, what are you listening to what I said yesterday? I never did nothing with Jessica. I just kissed her a lot. And it was beautiful. She had beautiful lips. No, you don't get what we get because you got a big mouth. I don't know what Summer does. What the fuck does she got to do with SHS, Jessica, and Albert? He keeps talking about. I think he's talking about a conversation he picked up in 2015 that he won't let go of me and Albert on the phone. And periodically he repeats everything back over a 15-year time span, and it's so fucking annoying because that's like my brother. You got both of us crying on the phone to each other, talking about our dead girlfriends and talking about our brothers and sisters out there, and you got this asshole just beating his dick listening to blowjob stories from two brothers. It's like that ain't your conversation. You need to be beat with a baseball bat, just like Jessica's second boyfriend was.